topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the host and their guests, and not those of W4CS Radio, its employees, or affiliates. W4CS makes no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening to the Cancer Support Network on W4CS.com.
The nerve, right? The nerve. So I'm in the middle of talking and that little pause came to the forefront. I don't know. I might have to like it, but at the same time, totally apologize for that. We were actually getting ready to start out for our another pause moment, so I was just welcoming you all to this moment. One thing that I would like to start off with is that it's summer, right? And the kids are home. Not only are the kids home, but additionally, the change in the season, right? And all that it brings. And it's crazy because the majority of the year, you're doing the same old kind of monotonous thing. And then school lets out and everything's different, right? So, we have been blessed, honestly, today because I have had the opportunity to take some time with my little one, or little ones, should I say. And in this moment, my precious Aliana is wanting to come on and just share a little bit about what she thought the podcast was all about, right? And so, in reference to today's topic, we were talking about this thing called chasing your dreams, right? And in this chasing dreams, I said, let me ask that little one again, because out of the mouths of babes, some amazing things can come, right? And so I said, Aliana, could you just tell me if you were thinking about chasing dreams, what would you say? Right? Well, we've got Aliana here to tell you exactly what she said. So come on over, Ali.
Okay.
Okay, girlie.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. So we're talking about dreams.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm always asking you different things about you and when you get big, what do you want to do? All that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so, some things might look really big and hard to get to, right?
Yeah.
But then some things you're like, I think I could do that, right?
Yeah.
So tell this audience
Yeah.
your feelings about chasing dreams.
Well, this is what I really said. What about showing them a dream catcher? And then here is a dream catcher that we saw.
The dream catcher. So the dream catcher, you're saying if they get one, it might help them, remember
Their dream.
their dreams. Right.
It's called a dream catcher because it catches your dream.
Right. And so over time, do you think people are forgetting their dreams? And that's why they need the dream catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like once I almost forgot my dream.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is the dream catcher whole thought process was kind of cool to me too, because I started thinking about um, how the dream catcher um, was something we were talking about chasing these dreams, right? And getting just tired, worn out, and kind of life is feeling like you're not getting anywhere. You know what I mean? You always wished that you could remember where you started, right? Or maybe even the why you started. And so I think a lot of the times it's trying to figure out if you had a journal, right? How that could be a dream catcher for you, a physical dream catcher, something that you could write your thoughts, your feelings down, and really be able to hold on to them. One thing I love is to craft. And so I love making scrapbooks.
Me
And
too.
you too, right. And so the scrapbooks is a way to hold on to those memories. But additionally, the where you started from, we kind of always want to sometimes we want to run from it, or sometimes we want to get back to it as soon as possible. And
Mommy,
so it's been one of those things. Yeah.
so I learned how to make scrapbooks from the trolls, from Pop, because she would make scrapbooks.
Oh, Poppy from the Trolls. Gotta love that whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golly. All right. Well, I wish I was more of an influence, but let's not get stuck on that. All in all, we definitely want to just figure out ways to hold on to our memories. And so the scrapbooking has been great because it's helped me also when trying to like guide my path and figure out where I'm going with even say this pause platform. It's given me an opportunity to look at it over time and not look at it like I've lost track of my dream, but my dream has molded. And so it's been actually real. Who's that?
My friend.
Your friend. Yes. That is Artie. Thank you. Hey, Artie.
Hey,
So
if I known you were bringing friends, I would brought my friends too.
I know. I wish. Okay, we definitely have to bring the friends the next time. We started. Oh, they have. You
Well,
should
no.
definitely.
Surrey has asked, and I said, "Well, we can look at it because you go off this summer."
Right there, you go. Well, that would be great to at least get them, even all of them together, doing their own little moment and talking about a certain topic would be cool. Because I think, and that's the thing about even these little people, exposing them, you know what I mean, and giving an opportunity to, you know, take some of what is a dream, and basically bring it to the forefront in reference to exposure, because some things it's like people just aren't getting the opportunity, the exposure, the knowledge, the anything to be able to even see that far, right? And then there's people that are in that dream chasing it and just can't seem to hit home. And so Ali was talking about the dream catcher, right? And
Oh,
so
dream
the
catchers.
yes, dream catchers. And so we were talking about how like life can kind of we don't remember where we started, right? And so we were heading one way, and for whatever reason, what?
Because we were talking about catching our dreams. So I asked Mommy, what you gonna do today? And then she said, oh, I'm gonna do pause. And then I said, what is gonna be the name of the pause? And then she said, catching our dreams. And then I said, well, what about a dream catcher? Well, that could be the name.
Right.
What a great way to make a connection too for you to do that. And so maybe how do you all feel we could do because you all as children are the best examples of, in my opinion, of like really thinking about dreams. Maybe do an episode of a part 2 on dreams with all of our friends.
That would be great. That would be great. I love it. Right. So basically, what we're going to do is, we're going to just finish up right here, but I'll call you in at the end so you can have a little bit of 2 cents. The last 2 cents, okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So basically, yeah, that's what we started talking about, which I mean, a lot of this whole topic comes off of you saying to me about, what about these chasing your dreams? And, I feel like this possible, impossible aspect of things, you know what I mean? And how some things could be, really big goals, but do we give up on even trying them or you heard that? She said
She's
no.
hiding here. Oh no.
She said no.
No giving up on her. Oh yes.
But at the same time, I think it's being reasonable with what life has in front of you, you know what I mean? And how it can balance so that it doesn't become stressful. Because like one thing that I was thinking about is like passion projects, right? So if we're talking about passion projects, that's like doing something you love. And that quote where you never really feel like you were working a day in your life if you do something that you love,
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some aspects of the want, you know what I mean, outside of the wish, and how we have to sometimes get that into the right framework first is like, what are we looking to do? I know in my journey with like all that I aspired to do, right? And then MS comes in play, right? And then it's like, oh, we got to turn it, twist it, do it a little different, not necessarily do it all, right? You got to do it, for others, with others, and depend on sometimes others to get things move forward, which slows things a little bit down, you know what I mean? If we're talking about focus driven in aspects of the whole thing. But I just think that it's this balance that like this sweet spot that you have to find between the work feeling of it, and then how much you really care and your interest in what you're doing, because there's the paying the bills you got to do, right? So I always tell my kids, I always say, listen, you got to get a cash cow, right? She says, yeah, I do. And she's 8. Okay. I'm starting early, but you get a cash cow and you can go dance all over the world if you want to, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, figuring out how you get that cash cow and how it's a sustainable cash cow, you know what I mean? And then being able to work into it. So then you can flip the script so that the passion project becomes maybe the cash cow, and you're then not feeling the stresses, all in a perfect world though, right?
But
So
you did highlight something that people. So what's happened now is we feel like we should all be well, not all. We should all be I just said all, but you know what I mean, that okay, this is the message that I think is being given a lot is lately, go ahead and life's too short and you should be doing a career and like follow your passion. But I'm really glad that you talked about, but sustainability, I mean, you still have to, let's have Maslow's theory, you still got to take care of food, shelter, right?
physiological needs that, yeah,
Who are
especially
following,
when you
and they're
yeah.
not, and they're on the
Mhm.
miserable side and then they're having like animosity towards their passion because they're not building a sustainable income. And so, Daria, it's a really fine balance that you're talking about. I do think it comes down to train, like literally having financial education, like you were saying, how your
Early
dad
on. Mhm.
early on, and yes, saying that they're and Daria, why aren't we finding passion in? So let's say you work in corporate America and you're not really feeling it, but you are afraid of leaving because you know what the other side you don't even know what a passion project is, but you're trying to figure out why aren't we introducing back to building community? Why wouldn't you say to your coworker, I would really love to get together and have a book club with you? You know what I mean? If that, like, I almost feel like we need to be encouraging in this state of everybody trying to get to know themselves, figure out what they really want to be doing with their lives. For many people, you don't just go out and go floundering, right?
Right, right. I
Right.
think there's a lot of in certain industries, right? Like if you work in corporate America, you went there for what? What was your reason?
Mhm.
Right? Was it the financial benefits of it? Was it the 9 to 5 hours? Was it the, you know, working for somebody else, not having, not you're just not that kind of person. Like, what was your reason of getting this job in the first place? Was it just to pay the bills? Was it the thing that was available? Was it the people that called back? I think there's a clear distinction between figuring out those two because and trying to figure out those two because I feel like some of us had to do, what I mean? Maybe you had kids early on, right? Maybe additionally, the dynamics within your household created that you needed to get a job first, or whatever the case may be. There were reasons why you chose that first job, right? Why did you leave that job? Okay, this next job you came into play, right? When that came into play, why did you stay? Why are you still staying? Right? Was it always finances from the beginning? Was it always the cash cow and you just didn't do anything on those off hours, right? Where you could invest more into your passion. There's a balance that you have to even find there because I'm got the job, right? Additionally, this passion that I'm working within, but how much of that is sucking from all the other facets of life? Family, my relation, me and my husband. If I'm working coming home from work, coming back down, doing my passion work at the same time, that has to find a balance because it's not going to work for all the other aspects, even the little ones, Oh, somebody has something to say. Come on in, because clearly 2 seconds.
Hi.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, that's true.
Oh, that's true. You just wanted to say, okay, we just wanted to say that's true. She's listening.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm stuck.
Okay.
Stuck. Okay.
So, there's the choir right there. Oh, wait. I think you're muted. Oh, that's why I can't hear you. You are muted.
Sorry, I'm muted.
You have trucks in the background still.
Oh my gosh. Of course the beach is beautiful, but they're trying to stock all the sand and sometimes you're just like, can you leave Mother Nature alone? Like just like if the beach is eroded, like just sorry. Anyways, when Aliana came on, it reminds me of the fact that we have a finite window with children, and it is really through 0 through 10.
Yeah.
Maybe 0 through 12 that they're listening, but after that, okay, you know what? So if we're trying to impart
13, forget it.
Yes, and you actually know because you have older children, so you could attest to the fact. So for us to be talking about finances and saving and then having dreams that and I think it's so funny. We always talk about this American dream. I don't know if this generation talks about it as much as we did. American dream. Why do people immigrate to this country? Why do people who are here, what is the American dream? What's your I don't know, Daria. I used to feel like I know, but now I don't know if I'm negative Nelly. I'm not negative Nelly. I'm wondering if it has just so much to do with capitalism and money that a lot of it's not about but then the positive part of me is like, it is the place where you get to build, and back to the affirmative action decision that was made yesterday. It's the idea that people immigrate to this country because of the fact you get to build, if you get to build who you are and to do things. If you would like to go to school, you are able to go to school, right, for college. Like, look at all these countries. I always tell anyone I encounter, you have to remember when you look at other countries, they still don't have the girls do not have the ability to go to school. They are required to just take care of their homes and their families, and they don't have choice. The power choice. That's what it is. The American dream, in my opinion, is the power choice. I don't know if
Right.
I'm wrong.
Right. I mean, I think that in reference to the American dream, it's if we think it's not going to be ever changing, you know what I mean? Then we kind of limit ourselves in its entirety anyway. You know what I mean? I think that we should be molding when we're talking about like common law, you know what I'm saying? Kind of molding as time goes on. And but at the same time, I think that we spoke, we wrote as we knew, you know what I mean? And then when you know better, you do better, right? So therefore, your change in perspective and additionally your approach should be different, right? So when we're talking about this whole chasing the dream, it's like, let's go right back to that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Those physiological needs. People can't even meet them. So we're talking about self-actualization. We can't get to food, shelter, water for some of us, right? And clean water. Let's talk about some places, right? So at the end of the day, I think that clouds the issue. You know what I mean? When we're saying also the amount of people, when we're talking about the disparities, right? The difference whether what school I go to, what type of school I go to, right? What services are provided to me, what different households can bring in reference to parental their parents' abilities to educate their children at whatever perspective, you know, to have a, you know, wonderful citizen of this United States, right? But at the same time, I think if you don't look at those, we can't say this chasing the dreams is even a fair game, right? And so people understanding like, okay, where you're at and how many steps you have to take just to get to equal ground, then running from there, right? So I think when we're talking to certain communities, it's looking at, well, let's just get us level ground. And that's been the fight, you know, is getting just level ground. At the same time, from level ground, moving up from there. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of us that have the opportunities, you know what I mean, to be able to hit those markers. And we're not, right, for whatever reason. And a lot of that can be the different grief that plagues our minds and brains throughout our life, you know what I mean, whether it be somebody's comment to us or what we hold within. So there's a lot of looking at like the full spectrum of society's, you know, issues per se, and figuring out, okay, we can teach this to one community, but this other community, they need a little bit more parts to that puzzle. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not able to get that information at home. They don't have that exposure to X, Y, and Z. If it's talking about farming, you know, agriculture, whatever the case may be, having those things there for them. So I think when we're that finite window, that, you know, 0 to 13, yes, we can speak into them, but then we got to talk about how a lot of these young people up to in their 30s are still struggling with the same
100%.
You see what I'm saying? Of, okay, I'm chasing a dream. I'm chasing a dream. I'm feeling like I'm just like paddling in this water, doggy what is it? Treading in water, you know, and how long can I stay afloat? You know, and as you've seen, some have come back home, try to get themselves on their feet that way. Some have gone back to school, got to get another certification, pigeonholed to the job I gotta be in because it's the cash cow, it pays my bills, not the one that I want to be doing, right? That aspect. So thus freelance has come to the forefront, right? I'm going to freelance my services that I am able to, that I'm good at, I have a passion in, and that I feel like I could thrive if I could just get a step up, a step up. And so I feel like, it's like putting a dog in a cage, that research project where they put the dog in the cage and they kept zapping, and then zapping to make this sound, right? So that the dog would stay back. And then thinking that the dog's ever going to come to the forefront. You trained him not to. You trained him not to. And you wondered why after, right? And that's the problem when we're talking about the generations that we came in at, right? But the hope that we can create for that little one over there. You see what I'm saying? Because if I'm saying that it's a waste of time to have that dream, it's a waste of time to think that you're going to dance all over the world and be able to pay your bills at the end of the day, right? But is it about all of these pieces of the puzzle, right? Is there finding balance in, okay, how much financially I need? This minimalist world that we're now coming into is not so bad, right? And figuring out how you can support the thought, but at the same time bring a little bit of reality to the picture. And so that's what I've been trying to, really, as you can hear, even in the 8-year-old, pour into my kids. But it's easier said than done. They're in there. They're out there in this world. You know what I mean? Chasing that dream. We are in our 40s. I'm still chasing dreams. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the dream catcher, right? Because I kind of lost track of what it was. I wanted to have my own wellness center coming out of college, right? Pre-med, physical therapy, business management. This is my boom, right? Now I'm realizing, I thought gave up that dream. I totally gave it up, right?
Did you really?
This is what I'm saying. As I'm creating pause, right? I'm realizing, oh, wellness is like at the forefront, right? That wholeness. I even created that wellness check, right? Because I feel like tapping into people and figuring out, hey, where we at is key. And so now I'm like, oh, I am still doing my dream. It's just twisted, a little bit altered, not exactly what I thought it was going to be. But at the same time, I think your purpose, if you allow it, don't push against it, is going to come to the forefront.
I agree with you. It does come.
Right.
Totally.
It's going to come. It's just how it comes. Like what you visualize is not necessarily how it's been blueprinted per se.
So, while you were talking, I was taking this note about okay, I feel like all our life, we can become conditioned in thinking about chasing, chasing a rainbows. Do we really chase a rainbow, or do you we have had 2 in the last 2 weeks? Do you chase a rainbow, or is it that you look at the rainbow and admire it, right? So I was just thinking about this fact of chasing dreams, or is it how do we bring this mindfulness piece to the fact that there is a metaphor or a theme that will stick, that will carry it through, right? I don't know.
Right.
I was just grappling with this because chasing dreams, it seems so fleeting, and it brings about how am I going to get there? And you know what I mean? And it creates a lot of anxiety of I really want to get to this better place. But it, you know what I'm getting at?
Right. Well, so I think the whole moving and working in your passion is more the mindset you come into it. You see what I'm saying? Because it talks about the you in it. It talks about how the you is also going to give light to others, right? And that's for me our purpose anyway, right?
Mhm.
So if we're talking about fulfilling purposes on a broad base, but within your own journey, like that is what you're giving, is what your passion is, what you can give to the world. Like it's hard to give out to others. Ooh,
What happened? You okay?
stop it.
Oh,
Stop.
you're
That's
really-
so dangerous for him.
oh, what's wrong? Oh,
My dog is totally red right now because she put red chalk all over him.
oh no. Oh, you'll have to have that chemical talk.
And you know what the crazy thing is? She's been wanting to do this forever, talking about chasing a dream.
Oh, wow.
No, this is not the dream. Okay. That is so not safe for him.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. I have to show you my dog. Just real quick. It's just insane. Look at him.
Oh
He's
goodness! Oh no! You look like you're playing holy at an Indian festival. Oh,
so crazy.
no!
Yeah, but don't they use something a little bit more healthy?
No, it's like colored starch almost. It's not, but it's not starch. Yeah.
Yes, it's not chalk up his nose.
Sorry, everyone. I hate to do this today. I have to cut out a little, but I wanted to say what. Well, I also want to talk about self care really well with chasing dreams. While we're chasing dreams, and Daria and I are trying to save the world. Just kidding. Is when something physically, but usually I'll be like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Of self-care is also being like, no, I need some assistance. So I texted my massage therapist who I'd never see except when I tell her I'm gonna come once a month every time I go. She's tired of hearing it. But I do when I'm like, something's calling. I want y'all to listen because that is part of chasing the ultimate whatever you're doing.
Right.
But you have to kind of listen. And so right now, in this moment, I have got to run.
Right. I love you for even coming in, and I'm so glad that you're taking that time for the self-care. Aliana, please help me. Okay. So
we're gonna talk to I think Daria and I will brainstorm this idea because if I think we hear some children talking about perspective on chasing dreams, I do think it'll give us a lot to figure out.
Oh, totally. Well, I love you. I appreciate you coming in. We're going to actually cut off a little bit early today in this pause moment. We're doing a half an hour, which is a little different for us. As you can see, we still want to talk. But at the same time, we just thank you guys for joining us for the time. Hope you got a little bit out of the moment, and also you enjoyed my little one as well as us. But practice makes perfect. So we're going to make sure that Aarti takes more time to have these self-care moments. And I'm going to try to do the same. That is after I clean the dog. Thanks for joining. Till next time.